Hey everybody, Jamie Maloney here, host of That Business Show 2.0, where business becomes show business. You know, we're here weekday mornings, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., talking to different business owners, entrepreneurs, political and community leaders, and we want to hear your story too. So wherever it is that you are across the country, wherever it is that you are at in business, whatever level of business that you're at, whether you're a startup and struggling, whether you're a startup and crushing it, whether you're an established business, we talk to people from all areas of business because we know we've got listeners from all areas of business, and we don't want to just hear from the ones who are crushing it, because we want to motivate and let other people know that people struggle in business too. And so we want to hear your story and how we can help you out. Go to tbsinterview.com and fill out the request form and come onto the program. tbsinterview.com. Show available on demand over on iTunes and YouTube. Simply go to thatyoutubechannel.com for the show on YouTube. Our guest today, Lynn Valais, owner and operator of Wise Women Fitness. Learn more about her, wisewomenfitness.com. So we welcome Lynn into the discussion. Lynn, how are you doing today?
I'm great, Jamie. How are you doing today?
I am doing magnificent. Very excited to speak with you. I always love to talk to people about fitness because that's not an area I do too good in. And so I'm going to hopefully steal some fitness tips from you today as well. But you cater to the ladies, but nonetheless, I'll still take some of those tips. But talk to us a little bit more about what Wise Women Fitness is.
Sure, absolutely. We are a small boutique fitness studio here in South Tampa on West Shore Boulevard. And we are a little bit unique from other personal training studios and fitness facilities in that we work just with women, and we have trainers only, women only. So no boys allowed here, guys. Sorry about that. But
why just the women, though? I noticed that women will cater to women, but you don't see too many men who just cater to men. Why is that?
Oh, I don't know. You know, we're the softer kid glove kind of gals. So we have a little more emotion involved than the guys. You know, too much testosterone out there, I think.
Is it just that you're more cognizant of your bodies and you like to be in groups amongst yourselves? I don't care about myself. I don't, I know I'm fat.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care, whatever. So
Sure. You know, the gals really like that sense of community. I think you get a group of women together. And they just, they're a lot more comfortable in their own pack, shall we say, or tribe.
Gotcha.
And they're much more comfortable surrounding themselves with other like women.
Now, have you been in fitness business your entire life? Tell me how you got into Wise Women Fitness as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I have actually been kind of a gym rat since I discovered aerobics in my early 20s. And, I come from a legal background. I did my time in the big firm scene. I was a paralegal for 15 years and always in the gym, used to be a runner, used to run races on a regular basis. And one day it occurred to me that I really wanted to do something a little more fulfilling. And fitness was always a big part of my life. And I always loved to teach. So it was kind of a natural transition for me to move into the fitness industry. So I started a little bit late in life, but as soon as I got here, I knew this is exactly what I wanted to do.
Now, the fitness industry, obviously a very saturated industry. How do you differentiate yourself at Wise Women Fitness amongst your competition?
Yeah, as saturated, that's a great word. There are a lot of trainers around. And one of the things that I think differentiates us from everyone else is that we really make it personal. Our programs are very, very comprehensive, and we are very one-on-one with absolutely every single client. There's no one size fits all here. You can't just pull a workout out of a book. Mm-hmm. We have ladies that are over 40, and we start getting creaky. So we have back issues and neck issues and knees. So we have trainers who are extremely, extremely educated, understand physiology in the body, and know how to work around all of these issues, as opposed to just going into a gym and, you know, slugging the weights around.
So it's about personability with your clients. We talk a lot on this program about knowing your avatar, really niching it down to who it is that you, who is your client. Now talk to us about when you first got into business. Did you know that you wanted to work just with women? Did you cast too broad of a net initially, or did you go into a niche market?
I think initially when I started, I knew that women were going to be the demographic that I wanted to focus on. The avatar has really narrowed down in the last few years. What I did cast a wide net in the beginning was on what kind of training I wanted to do. So we've kind of whittled away that, you know, our primary client base is the over 40 lady. The lady who's not looking to compete in a bikini contest. Right. She wants to be healthy. She wants to stay out of that wheelchair. You know, she wants to be able to play with her grandkids, you know, tennis, you know, just keep going every single day in a healthy way and not focus so much on aesthetics.
Now, a lot of people, when they start a new business, they struggle with developing a clientele. How is it that you were able to make those first sales and develop the credibility and the reputation to get your business flowing?
I think it really was just sitting down with people and, you know, potential clients and listening to them and listening to what they want, you know, and really understanding where they're coming from, you know, not trying to sell them. And what we really try to express to these ladies is we understand, because we've gone through the same thing, the very same thing.
What about partnerships in the fitness business? Referrals are always a key source of new business in any business. Do you have partnerships and relationships with other fitness professionals that help sustain your business?
Yeah, we actually do. You know, I think we're all so very unique. Although the market is saturated and competition is very great, we are all unique and offer something different for different clients. So I do work with other trainers. I work with physical therapists, massage therapists. I call my partners my strategic partners. So I know, like, and trust these partners, and I know that I can send my clients to them with confidence and know that they're going to be taken care of. And likewise, so it's reciprocal. And that's huge. It's a huge part of our business as well.
Now, when did you launch the business?
I launched in January of 2013.
Okay. And talk to us about what's transpired, the growth of the business since 2013.
Yeah. Started very slow, doing in-home training, slugging around all of my weights in the back of the car, and quickly realized that was not what I wanted to do. And, you know, grew into sharing a space with someone else. Again, 6 months later said, no, this is not for me. I need to have my own space. Right. And came into our own space in July of 2014. And we've been in the same spot ever since. Attempted to have a partner for a very short period of time, but I'll tell you, you have to make sure it's the absolute right person with the same values, the same business ideals, and the same passions.
Now tell me about your team. Do you have other trainers on staff? Do you lead all the exercises? How does it work?
Yep, we've got 3 other trainers here. And I've got someone who works with me in the morning, the afternoons, and the evenings. So there are 3 other ladies that I can easily match with other clients.
Now, you see a lot of trainers, personal trainers, that don't have a home base or an actual facility that's all to their own. They go in and out of the gyms, or they may go to the person's home. Why is it that you decided to have an actual brick and mortar facility?
I really wanted to create a space that was somewhere where a woman could step outside of the home and have a time of her own, away from the family, away from everything else. So when she walks in the door, that's her hour and hers alone, and she doesn't have to share it with, you know, her husband or her kids or any distractions or anything else.
So talk to us a little bit about, you know, when you first got into the business, some of the things that you know now about fitness, or the business of fitness, that you didn't know when you started. What were some of those entry-level mistakes or things you may have not have done so well that you would wish, if you could go back, you may have changed?
Oh, yeah, and there are plenty of them. I think one of the big things is that I don't know everything. I don't. And listening to women and not talking. That's kind of the major one. I think I've in the past spoke way too much about what I know instead of listening to what they need.
Are you talking about just giving the women what they want in terms of the exercises, and just where you were just saying, no, this is the exercise that you need, and just listening to them more? Is that what you're kind of getting at there?
No, I mean, from an emotional perspective,
Okay.
I think we really, the business doesn't focus so much on what's up in the head and inside the heart as opposed to aesthetically. And this is a huge step for a lot of women. So really sitting down and listening to understanding what's bothering them and what's leading them into the direction to actually step through the door.
Okay, so working in fitness with women as a clientele, it's about emotional connection. So if there's men listening, which there are, and they work with women, they've got to connect with them on an emotional level. And so that's where you differentiate yourself, by connecting with them. And that's, I can tell you, that's different with men. When I go and I've worked out with personal trainers before, I don't want to be talking about myself. I'm not worried about my emotions and all that stuff. I'm just trying to get done as quickly as possible, and hoping he takes some weight off that bar, and every time he loads up the bar and everything. And so I've been in and out of gyms my entire life. Tell us, how did you get in fitness? You've always been a gym rat, that she said. Talk to the people like myself who just can't get into the gym. How do you motivate us?
It's hard to motivate my clients to get into the gym, but what I really focus on is just get moving, even if it's just outside. Once you step into a fitness program, as you've been in and out of the gym, it's life changing. You feel different, you feel better, you get that high, those endorphins. We just try to kind of inch people a little bit at a time into that direction. It's not always easy, and it doesn't always work.
Right. Currently talking to Lynn Valais. She is the owner and operator of Wise Women Fitness. When we come back from the break, we're going to talk about her Pink Ribbon program, a new program that she has put into place, and also get a lot more tips about how the fitness business works. As you know, listen to this program, I talk with business owners and professionals from all areas of business, whether it's fitness, whether it's accounting, whether it's medical. I've talked to them all, and so we want to hear your story as well. Visit tbsinterview.com, and we would love to hear your story. A lot of FAQs on the site about how to get onto the program. Also, if you're a business owner in the Tampa Bay area, we have a business network with a lot of events and functions, and we would love to invite you out to an event. See our events calendar over at tbbo.org/events. And again, we'd love to see you out at one of the events and talk to you about becoming a member. And the member benefit is being onto this program Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. That Business Show 2.0. Learn more about the program, tampabayradio.com, and we'll be back in a minute.
Hi, welcome to Yeagers. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeagers, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring-type products, hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
everybody, Jamie Maloney back here again on That Business Show 2.0, where business becomes show business. We're here Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Live video stream available, TampaBayRadio.com, and then made available over on that YouTube channel.com, and then as a podcast on iTunes and multiple podcasting sites across the internet. For people familiar with the show, know we've interviewed over 1,000 different professionals from in and around Tampa Bay and across the nation. So wherever it is that you are in business, we want to hear from you. Visit tbsinterview.com. And if you're a business owner in the Tampa Bay region, we want to invite you out to one of our many events at the Tampa Bay Business Owners. We got a great main event coming up next month at the Tampa Club. Each and every month at the Center Club, we hold a main event. Next month is going to be an anomaly, though, because that one's going to be at the Tampa Club. But on April 5th at the Tampa Club, we're going to be talking with Patrick Riddell, who is the creator, along with his wife, Zezra, of the Mini Donut Factory. And this is a phenomenon here in Tampa Bay. They've got lines around the doors for these mini donuts. Who would have ever thought something as simplifying a size of a donut down to a small bite-sized donut would create such a phenomenon? And so they've got lines around the doors down here in South Tampa, opening up multiple locations, just named Business of the Year for That Business Show Awards Dinner, as well as from the South Tampa Chamber of Commerce Awards as well. And so we'll be talking with Patrick Riddell at the main event on April 5th at the Tampa Club from 5 to 7:30. If you'd like to register for that event, go to tbbo.org/events. If you'd like admission, we do invite guests out to the main event free of charge. If it's your first event, it is free to the membership. But if you're listening to me here on this program and would like to attend, shoot me a message, jamie@tampabayradio.com. Tell me you heard it on the podcast and you'd love to come out and hear this story, an amazing story of success. Talking again with Patrick Riddell of Mini Donut Factory on April 5th over at the Tampa Club. One of just the many great events that we do at the Tampa Bay Business Owners. And we've got Lynn Valays, who is a Tampa Bay Business Owner member and a Tampa Bay Business Owner, here with us on the program this morning, owner and operator of Wise Women Fitness. Learn more at wisewomenfitness.com. And so, Lynn, you've got the Pink Ribbon program. Let's talk about this.
Yes. Pink Ribbon program is a therapeutic post-rehab exercise program for breast cancer survivors. This was developed by a breast cancer survivor up out of New Jersey. She was a personal trainer, and she quickly realized that the system, being the healthcare system, did not provide all of the necessary rehabilitation that was required post-surgical, whether it be, post-surgery mastectomy, reconstruction, all of the above.
Okay.
So we've instituted it here. It's an amazing program.
Is this a national program that you've implemented? How does?
Yeah, she started this small program up in New Jersey. She is actually internationally now. She has instructors certified in Italy and Spain, and I think she's moving more into Greece at this moment too.
Okay. So how does training differ then for people that have been afflicted with breast cancer? So is the training different than somebody who has not been afflicted with the disease?
Absolutely, absolutely. A lot of people really don't understand what a woman goes through. There are several different types of breast cancer surgeries, from a simple radiation procedure to lumpectomy. And then there are some radical procedures that really just tear up a woman's body. So it's just amazing. And what happens is the body is forever changed. You have muscles that are moved. You have muscles that are taken out completely. And a lot of women find that all of a sudden the arm just doesn't work the way it used to.
What is the recovery time for somebody post-surgery from breast removal in terms of just getting their strength and their health back at your gym?
Yeah, usually, it could be anywhere from 6 to 12 weeks before they're even released for exercise. But recovery can be as long as a year, and really you are never going to be whole again. Like anything, when you have a surgical procedure, depending on the severity of the procedure, you are going to have limitations your entire life. Now, what we focus on is the physiological responses, restoring movement that has been shut down by the body naturally. and we try to get women back to as close to normal as possible.
Wow, I didn't realize it was such a devastating disease in terms of the post-recovery. I understand going through it can be very devastating, but then coming out of the surgery and then after you're cancer-free, the physical aspects of what that does to the body are very limiting, as you said, and so it can take several weeks to get back to just some degree of health and wellness then.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I think really people just do not understand I call it butchering, because it's just, you know, what doctors try to do is make the most of taking something out and then replacing and bringing you back to something that is as close to normal as possible. So it's anytime you're taking, you know, moving things around in the body, it's very traumatic. The body, every part is built the way it's supposed to, you know, it has a purpose. So when you move something, it radically changes everything.
Okay, and so the Pink Ribbon program, is this a group that is just for the people that have been afflicted by this? Do they work in conjunction with the rest of your class? How does that work?
Yeah, this is very specific. We are certified. I'm certified as a post-rehab exercise specialist for breast cancer survivors. It is a one-on-one program. It's very specific. We start with very specific exercise, slow and progressive. Again, we're focusing on restoring neural pathways that have been shut down. And of course, every lady is different depending on, you know, what she's had done. But what we have to understand is the physiological effects of cancer and treatments. So a regular program is not going to work.
How long does the program last? Is it a certain amount of time and then you move them into general fitness practice again? How does that work?
Yeah, it's typically a 6-week program. And if the woman is ready to work on her own, there is another 4 weeks after that, a phase 4 that they can do on their own. Should they decide to stay with us, obviously they can move into something a little more aggressive if they've been, you know, very successful and disciplined in the work that they need to do inside the studio and out.
Okay. And so if you're a woman you're in South Tampa, correct?
Yes, we are in South Tampa.
What's the address so people can get more information if you're in their area?
Yes, we're at 3311 Southwest Shore Boulevard, and we are just about a mile south of Kennedy.
All right, so for listeners that are in the South Tampa region, the female listeners, take advantage of her and her program, I should say, at Wise, and learn more at wisewomenfitness.com. So let's talk about the habits that made you successful as an entrepreneur. What do you think kept you going as an entrepreneur and be successful?
I think one of the main things is positivity and self-talk. It's huge. We are very prone to telling ourselves that we can't do something. And I make it a point every day to have some positive affirmations to keep me moving forward. Because as you know, being an entrepreneur is scary.
It is.
And, you know, one day from the next, your different things happen. We have different challenges. And some days you wonder, why the heck am I doing this? But it sure beats working for someone else. And
you know what? One thing I think that I'm lacking right now is physical fitness, because physical fitness changes the mindset of the body, the release of endorphins, just the general great feeling that you get. So you're an entrepreneur working out every single day. So I think you have a one-up on the other entrepreneurs.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're getting that physical fitness. I keep telling myself, because I'll get down on things, like, man, I got to exercise. And just that general laziness, I think, affects other things in business. How would you respond to that?
Absolutely. Hey, listen, even the trainer needs a trainer. We get bogged down in the day-to-day, you know, tasks. And so I actually have one of my trainers who trains me, and I step outside of the studio. And it helps me stay focused, but it really does. It just helps me stay on track with what I'm doing.
Okay, so it's like in law, the attorney who represents themselves is a fool, so they get other attorneys to represent themselves. In fitness, the trainers should get other trainers to train them in fitness, and so you take advantage of that to make yourself much more productive. I've worked out with trainers myself several years ago. They definitely do elevate your game. If you just go into the gym by yourself, you're never going to do what you can do. It's just
no. It's that accountability, you know, and it's knowing that your trainer's going to be texting you, making sure that you're doing your cardio, or making sure that you're, you know, eating right. You're not touching the chocolate cake.
Yeah, I know
So
when I go
you're-
into the gym, I'll go do some basic free weights and I'll hit the Nautilus equipment. But when you work out of the trainer, he had me tied up to some machine with all kinds of cables, and it took like 5 minutes to get the thing ready. And the different types of workouts and exercises they do is not something that you're going to do if you just go into the gym and work by yourself. So give a pitch to the people out there that do go to the gym by themselves without a trainer, why they should be working with a trainer.
Yeah, safety, number one, absolute safety. We focus on teaching the move. We want the client to master a move. They're going to do the exercise correctly for the right reasons to get the maximum benefit out of that. And that's really what we focus on, is the safety and mastering. And that way, when they go off on their own in the gym, they'll do it right instead of just flinging weights around and cables are flying. And then next thing you know, you're in a cast.
Yeah, right. And I definitely can attest to the fact that trainers do get you results. It can be frustrating, and I know it is another investment on top of the gym membership, but it does get you results, and they're going to push you to limits that you're just not going to go by yourself. Lynn, what's the future of Wise Women Fitness? Where are you going to be at in 5 years?
I think in 5 years, we definitely have a plan to be in a larger facility here. I am looking to start a nonprofit for the breast cancer program, for the Pink Ribbon program, so we can help women who can't afford the program. So really, that's my plan, is that we have that in place. It's going to be a large nonprofit, giving back more to the community.
All right. Well, a good discussion from another great entrepreneur here in the Tampa Bay region. Lynn Velez, owner and operator of Wise Women Fitness. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you. Thank you. It was my pleasure. Thank you.
Absolutely. And learn more about her, wisewomenfitness.com, or give their studio a call, 813-310-2628, 310-2628. And you can learn more about us here at tampabayradio.com. And also, if I can help you buying or selling real estate, don't forget, each Thursday we talk real estate here on That Business Show 2.0, and we want to be able to help you in real estate around Tampa Bay. Visit thathomevaluation.com to get a free home valuation. You've been listening to That Business Show 2.0 with Jamie Maloney.
Hi, welcome to Yeagers. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeagers, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring type products: hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
Hey everyone, Jamie Maloney here, host of That Business Show 2.0, where I talk with different business owners and community leaders each and every morning. New episodes air 7 a.m. on TampaBayRadio.com and available in our Facebook group, That Business Network. So head over to Facebook and join the group. It's an open group, and we'll get you in there, and you can check out the new episodes each and every morning. We want to hear from you too, so please visit tbsinterview.com and learn how to come onto the program. If you're a business owner in the Tampa Bay region, we'd also like you to learn more, invite you to learn more, I should say, over at tbbo.org. It's a network of business owners, and they come in and out of the show quite regularly. So a lot of the guests from Tampa are members of the Tampa Bay Business Owners. So if you're finding me on a podcast or on the airways for the first time, you can learn more at tbbo.org. Also, TampaBayRadio.com. My guest for this segment of That Business Show, Nancy Lucas, who is a creator of the Be a Nice Mom program. She is now a safe and calm mommy mentor, and resulted from being not so nice of a mommy at one point, she said, right?
Oh, true. Sad, but true.
So Nancy Lucas is in studio with us. Learn more about her at beanicemom.com. So Nancy, tell us a little bit about your background and what it means, and what is the Be a Nice Mom training.
Well, I have 4 kids, and when I got married, I told my husband I'd have 2 or 4, but not 3, because I didn't want to have that middle child. So none of them were planned. They're all amazing. They're about 2 years apart. The oldest is 13 now, and the youngest is 6. And I really did not like who I was as a mom. And I prayed, and I pleaded, and I begged. I read books, and I couldn't change. I couldn't shift it. And a girlfriend of mine came to me one day and said, you know, you should go to this program. And it was Conscious Discipline. So my husband at the time, he and I went for 2 days. I had just had baby number 3. In fact, I was still nursing that one. And so we went to the conference, came home with a yellow legal pad of all the things we were going to do different. And then I spent the next 7 years investing in the program, literally thousands of dollars, hundreds of hours to figure it out. So there are 2 things that flip, basically. One of them is an internal distorted brain message. I can't do this. I'm not enough. You shouldn't talk to me that way. And the other one is a trigger, right? I was yelled at as a kid. So when a kid yells now, it's a trigger. Not today, but when I was being a hurtful mom. So I had to uproot those triggers too. And that's what, I have a podcast, and that's what I do in the podcast, is try to remove the shame from these moms, because we don't want to go get help. It's really embarrassing when you're in a way like this with your kids. Like, who do you talk to?
Is it not that they're just your stress outlet? I mean, we all abuse family and friends to some degree with stress. I mean, it's okay to go and, you know, I wouldn't say it's okay, but we go home and we, you know, yell at our friends and family. We can't yell at our boss, obviously, because we get fired. So we redirect that stress on the friends and family. That's just the way life is. Is it that kids were just your outlet for stress, or was it deeper than that?
I don't know. I think kids threw me over the edge, and maybe other working women can appreciate this. When I show up at work, pretty much I do everything well. Like, I'm a rock star. You give me a task, it's going to get done. I'm going to do it pleasantly, and it's going to be right.
Right.
Okay, mothering, I can't do it right. The list never ends. Half the time I don't know what the heck, like, how do you solve this thing, right? Especially, I think my sweet spot with families is when they have a toddler and an infant, or a toddler and a newborn. Because a woman can put off her own self-care needs with just one baby, right? I can get a drink later, I can eat something later. But when you've got 2 of them going, and then you haven't eaten and you haven't had a drink for hours, you just are running, and like, let's not even talk about sleep, right? So you're just running on fumes, right? Not many of us show up at work running on fumes. But every day a mother shows up at her job running on fumes.
Was the problem, did it begin for you with child number 1, or did it begin when you had the second child? Was it a progression?
So for me personally, it did start with baby number 1, and I have learned so much. So this particular daughter we've never had her diagnosed, but she might be somewhere in the spectrum of Asperger's, right? Super intelligent, highly intelligent. She has all these sensory issues, right? And an imbalance between the left and the right side of the brain. So she's an amazing kid, and she needed some help. And so you'll hear a lot of parents of autistic children, and I'm not saying she's autistic, she hasn't been diagnosed, but you know, moms kind of know these things. I knew something wasn't quite right. So she and I really struggled bonding from literally the birth process on through. I got better at bonding and understanding nonverbal cues later. I got much better at nurturing with the other children. She was a challenge. So for me, it was the first one. Not all moms are like that. It's usually the second one that throws you over the edge, because that's when you have less internal resources. So
When did you said that you always knew that you'd had a problem and you invested in other programs, but was there something after that? Was there something that says, I need something deeper than this, or I need something more than this? Or was it just you began to change?
no, it was like a 7-year conversion. It's really, I feel so sorry for my first one. And she watches me now with baby number 4, and she's like, Mommy, you didn't do that with me. And I'm like, I know. I'm sorry, honey. Like, if I have to apologize till you're 70, I'll keep apologizing. I know I couldn't do it then. I couldn't. So, and that was the frustrating thing for me, is like, it was in my head. I knew these things. I know the right words to say. I understand how the brain works. And most parents don't even get that. Like, I had this training, I understood it. And still, I couldn't keep myself from that switch. And that's when I discovered the internal distorted brain messages and the external triggers. So stress, you mentioned that. Every explosion, whether it's yelling, hitting, pinching. I have one lady that pinches under the arm.
Pinches the kid?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and she was
I got chased with a fly swatter myself, and I was in trouble.
Yeah, right? Yeah,
Fly
you ever have
swatter.
to go cut your own switch, right? If you're from the South, you got to cut your own
But
switch.
I ran, though, so I didn't get hit too much, so I ran.
Right? So whatever the explosion is, and sometimes, particularly men, the explosion can be more of an internal thing. It can be like a, it can be just a huff or a flexing of the muscles, or eyes rolling. So it doesn't even have to be verbal or physical, but you can see the clue. There's something that's not right. So it's a level of stress plus a trigger thought. I can't do this. This shouldn't be happening. I'm tired. It's not right. Then is the explosion, and that explosion can look like a variety of things.
How did your husband fit into this entire mix? Was he just kind of on the outside looking in, or would he try to intervene?
Even though we're not married, and even though it didn't end well, I have to say the man was great and is a great dad. He really was very patient. I think when you're suffering on your own, it's not as bad. When you watch somebody else suffer and you can't fix them, I think that's often harder. So he was a great support. We had a lot of strategies. We knew when I was too tired to manage the kids. We had strategies in the evening to have people come help at that time. He worked basically 12, 14 hours a day. He was in the school system and also did athletics in the evening. So I really was single parenting, and he was great about pulling in the support when he needed it. And that's kind of how I coach parents now, is listen, where are your weak points, and building the strengths around that.
Okay, and today you have a podcast and a program that assists mom with dealing with anger and emotional and stress issues when raising their children. What type of training and certification do you have, and how do you implement that with your students?
I have a master's in education, so that was really helpful in learning different curriculum and how to teach and the best methodology. I also have a best practices certification in when I teach something to know that it will actually get implemented in the field, or in the home in my case. And then the other thing I have is a conscious discipline certified instructor status, and that's about a 3-year process. It's 1 week long. You have to implement for a year, go back, show your work. It's a really long process, but it was created by a woman named Dr. Becky Bailey. Totally changed my life. She helped me understand the brain, understand the 7 powers of a conscious adult. And those were the things that if I didn't have that, I would not have been able to walk through the high level of stress, high level of transition, and be the mom I am today if it weren't for her.
Does this training and coaching transcend the parental relationships? Does it work in other types of relationships as well?
Actually, Conscious Discipline was designed for the classroom.
Okay.
It's award-winning. Her books are translated into something like 13 languages, and it's based on going into a classroom and helping a classroom run from love and not from fear. So when we threaten and cajole, the blood flow leaves the executive state of the brain, goes to the back of the brain, and then our only choices are fight or flight. So when we use this force, we actually get less cooperation and more fighting back, more aggression back. So in a love-based platform like Conscious Discipline, the child feels safe, the child feels loved, and then they are ready for learning. Or in the case of the home, ready for cooperation, family planning, organization.
So conscious discipline is really just disciplining your mind to focus on what it needs to focus on. Then am I defining that right? If not, correct me. What is conscious discipline?
So Conscious Discipline is a social emotional learning program. and we say adults have to go first, right? We can't get our kids to do a behavior or act in a certain way if we're not capable of doing it first. So it's based around brain research and the brain state model, which is survival, emotional, and executive, and then based on best practices in early childhood. So listen, if you're struggling in a relationship, it basically comes down to the level of connection you have. So if I asked you, what was the worst topic in school for you?
Worst top English.
English.
Yeah, I never.
And what was your favorite?
Mathematics.
Okay, now describe to me something about your math teacher.
Math teacher. Which one? I had so many of them. So going
Well,
through
one of your favorites.
Oh, math teacher. I don't know. I'm trying to think of them now.
But in general, how was the classroom for you?
Oh, I enjoyed it just because that's how I think. I'm a logical thinker. And so emotion, things like that, I didn't connect with the teacher because it was about interpretation and it was about emotion. Mathematics was this plus this equals that. You can't argue that.
Yeah.
And so the math teachers were logical thinkers. And so I connected with them for that reason.
Right.
But emotion and trying to explain why Hamlet, fell in love with his mom, I don't want to talk about that stuff. The Oedipus complex.
Why do you have me out here?
I still have not been able to make money on the Oedipus complex, so I don't know why I need to know that. And meanwhile, I could have done a lot better with some teaching on how to buy a home for the first time. So, got to take a quick break here. Currently talking to Nancy Lucas, creator of the Be a Nice Mom system and podcast. Learn more about this at beanicemom.com. We've got another segment with her when we come back from the break. In the meantime, learn more about this program at tampabayradio.com, and all our shows are available on demand over at thatbusinessshow.com, and also high definition of video available over on thatyoutubechannel.com. And we'd love to have you in here as a guest. It doesn't matter where you're at across the country or the globe. Visit tbsinterview.com for more information. You're listening to That Business Show 2.0, where business becomes show business.
Hi, welcome to Yeagers. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeagers, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring type products: hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
everyone back to That Business Show 2.0. I am your host, Jamie Maloney, and again, we're here Monday through Friday at 7 a.m., available on demand across multiple podcasting platforms, iTunes, and also high-definition video available over at thatyoutubechannel.com, aiming to inspire entrepreneurship each and every show that we do. That is the purpose, that is the mission of That Business Show 2.0. Over 1,000 entrepreneurial interviews completed, and we'd like to hear from you too. Visit tbsinterview.com for more. Currently talking to Nancy Lucas, a fellow TBBO member and also creator of the Be a Nice Mom system. Learn more at beanicemom.com, and it's also a podcast available up on iTunes as well. So Nancy, let's go a little bit more into the coaching and consulting portion of what you do with people when they reach out to you. So let's say I'm a distressed parent, I'm having problems, with my relationship. What's step one? What are you going to help me with?
Well, step one is listening. Usually I can assess very quickly one of the 7 powers that they're missing. For example, accepting the moment as it is, right? So, let's just say there's a little fender bender, and you jump out of the car and you're like, what? I can't believe this is happening, blah, 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 blah. So your brain is stuck in this emotional state. You're actually missing everything on the top. So the top skills are prioritization, organization, time management, impulse control, and empathy. So when we're missing the blood flow to the front part of the brain, that executive state, we're actually missing these skills. So we actually have less power to work our way through a problem. So the first thing I like to do with a mom especially is remove any of the shame. Like, first of all, just understand your brain is working the way it was designed to. It has a pattern, it's predicting the pattern, and it's repeating the pattern. So let's hear through some of those things. So let's accept the moment as it is. You messed up with your kid. You messed up with your spouse. You messed up here. Okay.
But isn't it okay just to yell and ream on the kid just every now and then? Isn't that good for them? I mean, you hear all the old timers all the time talk about that stuff. And I'm glad my daddy beat the hell out of me, because if he had not been, I wouldn't. You hear about people bragging about that stuff sometimes. So
there's more than one way to the end. And what we know about the brain is it creates a pattern. It creates a pattern. So it's kind of like, if you go to the gym and you work out the top part, you get nice biceps.
You get the legs, yeah.
And then you end up with little skinny legs. And if you just work out the legs, then you don't have anything on top. So the brain is the same way. If I yell at you and I always send you to the survival state, fight or flight, hey, listen, this is going to be your paratrooper. This is going to be your fighter, right? Because they've got the fighting in them. That's the muscle they worked out the most. If you've got somebody, listen, John Bradshaw on The Family did a series on PBS years ago. He talked about how the brain stores 25,000 hours by the time we're 18. Research shows more than 70% of that is negative.
Oh, wow.
Right? So what do you want recorded? Like, I have a choice of recording in my children what kind of voice.
Yeah, it's interesting that people say that every memory is somehow retained in our brain.
Yeah.
If we could just learn to access all that information, we'd be powerhouses. But unfortunately, just so much is somehow locked up in there somewhere, and we only know about it subconsciously in the way we act.
Right. So when we get triggered, we actually leave the executive state and we function from an unconscious state. So what comes out? The things that are on that recording. You're dumb, you didn't do it right, you're not good enough. Those are the things that come out. Is that really the way you want to show up in your job as a parent or your day job? Right? No, I want to show up, I can handle this. And that's what we teach in Conscious Discipline. I'm safe, I'm loved, I can handle this. Same thing we say to the kids. We have specific techniques for each part of the brain to elevate them to a conscious state, to an executive state here, and then move through the problem.
Does Serenity Now come into play in any of this coaching?
I'm not sure, like breathing, staying calm. Actually,
that's a Seinfeld reference. I wanted to see if she would catch that.
No, so I unplugged my television in 1996.
Oh, Seinfeld was on for 5 years since then. So Serenity Now was a calming technique that one of the characters used anytime he felt like exploding with anger. His psychiatrist told him to say Serenity Now. And there's a whole episode built around that.
No, we have Be a Star. Smile, take a deep breath.
So that's your
and
Serenity
relax.
Now. So.
It is, because literally when you smile, it disconnects the neural pathway to fear anger, and rage.
What about forced laughing? I mean, I've always been told, and I know it works, to some degree, go in front of a mirror for a minute and just laugh, even if you're mad. Just force yourself to laugh because the chemical reaction, the release of endorphins, it changes or will have some impact on you in a positive sense. Do you advise on that?
It's not something that we teach. It is a strategy. I have one boy, so I have a couple of kids who are oppositional. And the one of them who's oppositional, if I can stay in my executive state, right, breathe and be calm, if I can move him to laughter, we're done with the tantrum pretty quick.
Now, in your consulting, are you working with both parent and child at the same time, or is it just parent and...
I can. Sometimes I come watch the dynamics between them. It's really interesting, the patterns we teach our kids. So one of the patterns that's really common is it's kind of like the gambling gene. You don't have to win every time to want to go back to the casino.
Right.
You just have to win once in a while.
Right.
It's that anticipation of the pleasure. All right, well, we actually train our kids to have this addiction. And we do it by whining, 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 give in. Whining, 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 give in. Tantrum, tantrum, tantrum. Okay, I'm going to cave to that one. We never have to cave. Never cave, because you're teaching them, oh, it's going to pay off one time. It's going to work.
So you say step one is listen and hear what the parent is saying to you. What do you do next? Talk to me, and also the length of this program. Are people at various states or levels in terms of how long it takes them to see results?
Okay, I love conscious discipline. Obviously, I have my certification in it. There's 7 powers of a conscious adult plus the brain. Whole training, it's 2 hours just on how the brain functions. What I have found is parents really don't want to sit through 16 hours of content. So I implement it a little bit differently than my peers in the industry. So I look at your situation, I give you a current solution to the current problem. When you're ready to add on, then we come back and we add on. I have an online course, Anger Pucks, because that's my niche. I really understand where these women are coming from.
You said pucks. What is pucks?
Yeah, thank you. So there are 4 roots of anger. And this came from a variety of sources. My dad was even really good in helping me heal through this process. And counselors and books and conscious discipline. So there are 4 roots to anger. Protection, something is unfair, something needs to change, or there's stress. So when we can address each of these, in conscious discipline we teach every emotion has a message. Anger has a secret message of calm down and change. Calm down and change. So whatever the root is, whether it's protection, if something's unfair, if there's a change you want to see, or if there's stress, we'll calm down first, right? Be a star, smile,
Right.
take a deep breath and relax. And then we can focus on what is the change, what do we need, and how do we get there.
Isn't it okay or advisable sometimes to, if you're feeling angry, to just explode? And this is coming from somebody who's very even keel. I'm not overly emotional to either degree. I don't get very angry, but I also don't get very emotional or upset or overly excited. I joke oftentimes I could hit the lottery right now, and I'd be like, hey, I just hit the lottery. That would literally be my reaction right there. In the meantime, I could have something tragic happen or unfair to me. I get irritated, but I don't explode. Am I internalizing something? Maybe do I need to release?
It's really cool. We have this smock that the kids wear because when we say, I am hungry, I am tired, I am angry. Well, no, you're Jamie, I'm Nancy. I feel tired, I feel hungry, I feel angry. So we literally put this smock on and off and we say, hi, Nancy. And you say, I feel angry. Welcome, anger. So we actually talk to our big emotions, right? Some people express them, some people don't. But whatever, we have them. We have these big emotions. So all big feelings are welcome. We just have a dialogue with them. And conscious discipline scripts out that dialogue. I feel angry. Hello, anger. Welcome, anger. You can stay as long as you want.
With regard to child care, are both parents as equally afflicted with anger issues, or is it more sided towards the mom having these stress and anger issues versus the father?
I honestly don't even know the number on that. I couldn't tell you. I know that women are drawn to me because they feel safe. They understand that I understand. They understand it's a place of no judgment and no shame, and we go straight to the core. One of the things we say in conscious discipline, like if I spill water or I trip, we say, oops, I'm beautiful. And we teach our children that. Oops, I'm beautiful. So my little guy, he says it to me when I spill something in the kitchen, and that's not how I grew up. If I grew up, I was berated. But in my home, we say, oops, I'm beautiful. So that's the level of grace and transition I give moms. It's like, oops, you're beautiful. Right. Now let's start at this point. Going forward, where was the anger? Where was the stress? What can we change? What structures do we need to put in to create the safety? And we move from there.
Your podcast, Be a Nice Mom, availability, when is it, how can people get to this?
It's on iTunes, and it's also on Podcast Addict is where I find it. So anywhere. I have it on SoundCloud, but basically iTunes, if you just Google my name, Nancy Lucas, Lucas, or Be a Nice Mom, it'll pop up. I have one season done. Second season, I'm going to shift it up a little bit and just interview my conscious discipline peers, because we each have a little bit of a different niche, and we all have a different story of how we came to this journey. And I want to encourage women to at least start the journey, get into our Facebook group, start reading one of the books. But my favorite book is Easy to Love, Difficult to Discipline.
Very nice, very nice. So how many moms out there have these anger issues and you just don't know, the average person would even know?
Okay, listen. Research shows in America, 90% of families yell at their children. Unless you have somebody who's 7 years old or older, then it's 100% of American families are yelling at their children. So we all have ways to motivate, but if we're yelling, we are reverting a child from the executive state to these lower unconscious brain states where they have less power to solve the problem you really want to move towards.
Well, a good discussion and a topic that I'm sure a lot of people can take advantage of, improving the relations with their children. So Nancy Lucas, creator of the Be a Nice Mom system, also a podcast. Learn more at beanicemom.com. So Nancy, thank you so much.
Thank you, Jamie.
Absolutely. And again, learn more about us over at TampaBayRadio.com. Each and every morning, we talk with different business and community leaders on the program, aiming to inspire entrepreneurship and share with you tips, tricks, successes, and even failures that go on in business. We'd also like to hear from you. Visit tbsinterview.com for more information. And be sure to join our Facebook group where the show is aired live each and every morning on Facebook Live over at That Business Network. You've been listening to That Business Show 2.0 with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.